So anyways, we are exhausted. Like literally, we were sitting here on the couch Saturday night from CES 2023. We've had a fantastic time. Honestly, we had a great time. Last night, we went out to the Player One bar
Yes,
with
sir.
all the people from the industry, all of the people from the content creation side, YouTube.
From newbies to Palmer Lucky.
Well
I mean,
said.
literally.
Literally walking in the door, we just get there and we're like, literally Palmer Lucky standing outside right there talking to two people, and we're like, holy crap.
Right.
I wanted so bad to be like, can I just get a picture with you? Because we got there a little bit late, but he was talking to two people. I didn't want to be rude, so I didn't do it. So I just kind of...
I told you no.
I took in the moment, yeah, and I was just like...
I said, just give him a minute. He's talking to people.
I was in a little bit of awe and shock, and I thought, this is awesome. Like, how cool is this to see Palmer Lucky in the flesh? Yeah. A lot of people did get to meet him, talk to him, get pictures with him, but... Man, it's been a wild ride. Our feet are killing us.
Horrible.
Like, I mean, we have walked so many miles. It's been insane, but well worth it.
From carrying gear around to trying everything out to...
Yeah.
We didn't really wait in too many lines. We were pretty fortunate for that, especially having media passes and stuff. But
yeah, I mean, and a lot of it was in appointments. You know, you set up appointments and stuff. So even if there was a line, if you had an appointment set, you can get in. Recorded a bunch of footage. We have a bunch of videos we're going to try to put out, but... can we call this a coffee and VR show? Since
we need coffee right now. I can promise you that.
We are so tired, we're exhausted, but we wanted to do this and just kind of talk about our experience and do kind of like a
before we
podcast
forget,
show.
because this stuff has just been so epic coming here, and everything from the gear to the headsets, the accessories, the people,
like the community. We've loved the VR community forever. Meeting all of these people that we've met and talked to online and in games and watched on YouTube and everything else, like. I mean, I thought these people were great when I never met them in person, and I think they're even greater now. Just awesome people. So cool to meet everybody. And you're going to see people, and you know they're putting out videos. They'll be talking about it on their podcast, and it's just such good people, such a good community. And it was even cool just meeting fans, like people that we didn't know but knew us, you know, and come up to us and just having conversations with them. And it's been such a wild ride. But I mean, let's get into some of the stuff that we did here. So some of the stuff that we've done while we've been at CS. Where do you want to start? There's so much. I mean,
do we start at the top? Do we start? Okay, let me start by what I thought was maybe going to be my top. Because coming here, I really wanted to try the Pimax.
Yeah,
the Crystal was on my list. It is a pre-order of mine. And after trying other things that were here, I feel like it doesn't compare now, and it's not there. And it kind of changed my mind on it, which... I mean, I guess is good and bad. I guess it proves, you know, what you said and what I thought could be from it. I just had higher hopes for it.
I mean, we had a good experience with it overall.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was a good headset. Like the visuals were very, very nice. They did some local dimming things. They were giving us a test run of the local dimming and dark scenes.
That was really good. That was
very impressive. It made it look way sharper and way better in the real dark scenes.
Yep.
I mean, it was actually a really awesome headset. The reason that we didn't like it as much is because it just felt heavy and bulky. After doing some other things here, you know, some smaller form factor headsets and just things that we've done, it just felt like too much. Like there was the wire hanging off of it from the big, and it wasn't even a crazy heavy headset. They said it was actually lighter than the 5K. But it just felt like I had something hanging off of me still, and it was just, I don't know.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't give me that premium feel for the money you're spending on it. And that's where,
$1,400, $1,500.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing to want to spend something like that when, you know, we have the Vive XR Elite now for a cheaper price.
We're going to talk about that.
That I would rather have. And that's what happens, you know, especially when stuff's not coming to market yet. And something like Pimax, I can't guarantee when I'm going to get it. You know, when HTC says that, you know, they should ship in March, then why wouldn't I go with something like that I know I can have that is just as and more versatile and probably has more access to stuff.
More comfortable.
Exactly. So it's just hard, you know.
I don't know. I mean, I was impressed with the headset, and I thought, man, this would be a pretty good, you know, sim headset and stuff like that. But I'm just kind of over that bigger form factor in these bigger headsets. I want this stuff to keep getting smaller, lighter, more comfortable. I want to be able to spend more time in there without any discomfort or even, you know, noticing that I've been playing forever, you know, having any kind of pain. And you suffer from neck problems.
I do.
So when you have a thicker cable hanging off you, a heavier headset, you've had some weird issues, so I know that's for you. Like I know that's one of the big turn-offs.
Oh, it was a game changer. I've wanted a light headset for a long time. That's why I still go back to liking even and saying I like the CV1 because it was a light headset. You know, we didn't have all this internal stuff in it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's the Crystal is still a good headset.
I still think people are going to really, if they order it and they get it and they ship it and it shows up and all that, which I'm sure
they're
will
still
eventually.
Gonna like it.
Yeah, I think people are going to like it. I mean, I know people have been talking about it and their impressions were great on it, and I was impressed. I've not been impressed a whole lot by the little bit of Pimax stuff that I've tried, but this one, I mean, visually and stuff, it looked good. You know, field of view was pretty decent. It wasn't mind blowing, but that's not one of the characteristics of the Crystal. You know, it felt roughly like Index to me. Yeah. I didn't see a whole bunch of distortion in the field of view, like on the sides, like the
no, just maybe right on the perimeter of the lenses, maybe.
Yeah, there was a little bit of. I mean, like in the flight sim, you know, you could read every gauge, every word. Like that was impressive, and that was
crystal
really,
clear.
Really cool.
Really? No, I'm serious though. It was.
I know.
Man, the textures on it, like sitting in a cockpit, you don't even have to lean in to look at anything, and even your downward gaze without moving your head, you know, you're not looking in that sweet spot. It actually still is clear enough to read, which is really cool.
Yeah, I had a little bit of. There was some weird like. Around some of the images and textures, like, and we talked about it a little bit. It was like a weird, my brain, like.
Yeah, but I think that's also because we couldn't adjust your IPD.
Yeah, the
on it too,
IPD wasn't working right, so I couldn't get it perfectly. We did get it adjusted some, but there was. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that overall, I think the Pimax Crystal, if the price wasn't so high and it just didn't feel as bulky to me, if they could slim that size down and make it a smaller headset, I think I would be a lot more excited about it. But
I agree.
I think it was still great. I mean, visually, it was impressive. The headset visually was impressive. So that was pretty cool. PSVR2, you know, we put out a video on PSVR2, and that was one of the things that I was very excited about. Like when we got here,
now how do you feel about that? You know, coming here now?
Yeah, I was like, that's the one
or?
thing I want to do.
Right.
I still feel hyped about it because it was a comfortable headset. I liked the haptics, you know, the head haptics, and I mean, there wasn't a huge showcase of that, but I think what you can do with that, like in a shooter game, you know, like Firewall and stuff, if they can take advantage of some of that stuff. Eye tracking in it worked really well. So when you go in there, they have all these dots that you look at, you know, to set it up, and then, you know, the person doing the demo has you look at what menu thing you want to select. You gaze on that. He hits the button to put you into it. That worked flawlessly. I mean, everywhere I looked, it was pinpoint on. It seemed to work really well. Biggest complaint, and it's not a problem with the headset, I don't think, is the tracking. And we had tracking issues with pretty much everything we've done here. So, I mean, that was pretty much across the board tracking issues with all the interference.
Yeah, we just basically haven't judged any tracking going on at this whole event.
I mean, we can't really. I mean, I don't think it's a problem with the headset and the controllers or anything. I think it's honestly just the atmosphere that it's in. It is not ideal. There's so much going on.
Movement,
we've had
people walking around.
We've had mic issues, you know, while we've been here because of all the interference. And, you know, you see the earlier videos, you know, VR Oasis and all these people that had early hands-on with PSVR2, and it didn't seem like tracking was an issue. So I think once we get these things in our homes in February, I don't think the tracking is going to be an issue. Visually, I think it looked good. Colors and stuff looked really good. I mean, the OLED panels looked really good, but there is still kind of, I saw a weird, and I can't even think of the word. Somebody even explained kind of what it was, but just a weird, somebody said it was screen door effect. It wasn't screen door effect, but it almost acted like that. Like anywhere I look, like in bright scenes, I could kind of see, like, it was just almost like a haze. And some people say it's like the black smearing, and that could be it. I'm not sure, but... Like
a world texture or hue kind of floating around or something.
It was just kind of different, yeah. But I mean, that wasn't something that was like, took me out of the experience. It was almost like older days when the screen door effect was still kind of there, but not real bad. And if you looked for it, you saw it. But if I wasn't looking for it, I never noticed it. Like once I was playing the game...
Like the first Quest. Kind of more that feel where it wasn't there, but it was.
Yeah, like, I didn't notice it unless I was looking for it. If I was looking for it, I could see it. And then it would kind of distract me, but most of the time I never paid attention, and I could play the game, and I loved it, and it looked great, you know. And I think that game, what is that game called?
Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon. I think that is going to be a really good game. I mean,
yes.
I think people are going to love that. I unfortunately, the game crashed as well, so I didn't get to finish the demo, but it seemed pretty legit. It seemed pretty good. So.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful looking game.
Yeah,
it
so
really is.
I mean, I was a little bit disappointed with some of the stuff with PSVR2. I was a little bit excited about some of it. I just want to get it in my house. I have it on pre-order. I want to give it a fair shake, you know, in my home environment where I'm hopefully not going to have all these tracking issues.
Force feedback was pretty good on it.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about adaptive triggers or the
headset,
like that,
and the
controllers. The haptics and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, again, there's just so much going on in the environment. There's so much background noise. It's hard to really focus in.
It is.
Like you would if you were playing this thing at home, So that's what I really want to do. But I'm still excited about it. I think it's going to be a great headset. I think that game's going to sell a ton. Gran Turismo 7 is going to be killer, I'm sure, in that headset. So
what else shocked us?
I see what you did there. One of the things, so actually we did the OWO, the OWO haptic shirt, which is using like a kind of like an electrical charge. And we're gonna put a video out on this.
Are we actually gonna do that?
I mean, dude, it was so funny. And, at one point in time, Tyler was doing it, and he just put the headset on. So the guy put the headset on, and they took it back off because it wasn't cast into the screen. Well, the game already started, so Tyler's like, oh, like I
was getting shot in the game, and the guy has the headset in the menus trying to do things, and I'm trying to like dodge bullets and move because I'm getting shot.
So funny.
Yeah,
I was cracking up laughing. But honestly, we've talked to a lot of people here, and a lot of people weren't very impressed with the OWO, and they're like, oh, it's kind of dangerous, and using something. And I get that stuff. I was a little bit nervous about it because I was like, I mean, I don't want to like defibrillator, like, you know what I mean? And shock my heart.
Right, have an issue, yeah.
But I loved this thing.
Right, exactly.
I seriously, and it's like, it was a little bit two different experiences with me and Tyler because for some reason with me, like it would literally, like the one time, it was literally like pulling my arm up and like, when they did the machine gun, like my arms like literally kind of like twitched like as it was like a machine gun going off, like, and I'm sure they say a lot of it has to do with different body types. Like everybody kind of experiences a little bit different based off of muscle mass and fat, tissues, and everything else. But
mine was more of like a pinpoint shocking.
Yeah, there were still times when it would.
Yeah, it does. It
tenses
my but yours was like moving your arm and stuff. Mine more like, tensed it, I guess is a good way of saying it.
And you can turn up the intensity pretty high, and it's borderline painful. I mean, it is painful if you go too high. Yeah, it's literally painful.
When you got done with yours, you're like, he only had it up to 20% or something.
It was like 23%.
And I'm like, well, I'm going to go higher when I go in, and that was a mistake.
I thought it was higher than that because I was like, but I mean, the cool thing that I was telling Tyler, like, is the fact that it like kind of contracts those muscles when it does that. Like at one point in time, he's like, all right, I'm going to simulate, because when they're setting it up, they're just simulating things on the phone and checking intensities. He's like, and I'm going to simulate a punch, like a bone, like a punch. So he like punched me in my stomach with the app, and I'm like, oh man, it like contracted my muscles. Mm-hmm. And the thing that I like about this form of haptics is that if I punch Tyler in his stomach, his natural reaction is his muscle's going to tense up and he's going to take that punch. And that's what I did. And so that, to me, felt a little bit more of a realistic haptic than just a vibration or a buzz because, in a shooter game, when you get shot and you feel the bullet enter in the front and then out the back, and even you said like you could feel it go in and then it kind of even spread out a little bit when it came out.
It was a different sensation. Yeah. When it went in the front, it was like a quick piercing, and out the back, it was more like a
spread out.
And it dissipated then. It was definitely
really
cool.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like I thought I might like it, but then trying it, I was like, man, this is really cool for the games that we like to play. Like if they can get good integration with shooter games, Population 1 and Contractors, Breachers that's coming out, all that kind of stuff. That, I mean, it's going to be pretty cool for a shooter. They also did a thing like free falling, and it would give you sensations going up. Like Haptics has done that in Population 1. That's really cool.
Yep.
Bugs crawling over you. It's just
it's weird.
It's really hard to explain.
In a good way.
But I actually really liked it. I don't know. The one thing we talked about is that you're ordering a shirt size, and then it has to be pretty specific to you and fit you.
It has to be tight. It can't be loose on your skin. It has to be tight
because it has these like contact patches that essentially shock you. And so we were talking about, it would be nice for them to make a way where it's more flexible, like you were saying, like a double zipper type thing.
Well,
so you kind of expand
if the zipper, the original shirt has one zipper going up, if they had a piece that, with 2 inches wide with 2 zippers, that would just let it open up a little farther, and maybe even something like that for the arms or something. And that would allow them to then have it still tight on somebody when it,
because that's one thing. If you spend that much money on it, and I have it, it works great for me. But somebody comes over, and I'm definitely going to want to put them in this thing, and they don't fit it, and they don't get the experience. So some more versatile, that would be nice. I
think. Not too hard to get in and out of quick and stuff like that.
Bad,
so
no, and it's not hot because it's a real tight, like breathable material, so you don't overheat.
No, not at all.
It does have to be on direct skin contact, so you can't wear anything underneath it. But that was honestly one of the standouts to me of CES 2023. I loved putting that. It was just hilarious. Watching you do it, you're watching me do it. We were both cracking up laughing. It was just so much fun. That was one of the standouts.
We got to play at the Lynx R1.
Yeah, finally we got to meet Stan. Stan's
Yes.
an awesome guy. That was really cool
Absolutely.
to get to meet him.
It was exactly how I expected.
As well as Ultraleap and some of the haptics stuff that,
that
they're doing, meeting that team. It was just so cool to get to meet some of these people and just have genuine conversations with them. But,
absolutely.
The Lynx R1, what did you think?
I think that hand tracking and stuff is incredible inside
the hand
of
tracking
it.
was working really good.
Yep.
I had a little bit of trouble when I first put it on, like because of those, what do they call the lenses? They're like a real crazy lens. It's not like a typical pancake or Fresnel lens. When I first put it on, I tried to wear it with glasses, so it's kind of got, I think it's got a little bit smaller sweet spot that you got to kind of adjust because of the way those lenses are. So when I first put it on, I tried to put it on my glasses, and I was like, something doesn't seem right. So I took my glasses off, and then I was able to get more into that sweet spot. It was a lot more, visually, compelling. And we didn't get to do a whole lot of different demos. We did the one, where you have the solar system and you can grab a planet and pull it out. One thing that was really cool is you were like in VR, and all the planet system, and you grabbed one. If you walk back far enough, then you could place it out. You were completely in pass-through, and you could place it there, and then you could walk back into VR, and you walk back out, and it's still in that same spot.
Well, and my favorite thing, he said that there is no limit to how far it will track.
So if you
place that object, I said, what if I walk across the hall with this headset and come back? He's like, oh, it'll still be there.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Like, what? Like,
your whole house you could lay stuff out in then and do whatever. So
so that's really, I was impressed with the headset. This was still not the finalized version, but
form factor, the thing is tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Like,
and you got, you have your full peripheral vision. That's like what we mean. So doing the Pimax and that big bulky headset with all these little headsets, that were not that overhanging weight off of everything.
Yep.
It was a cool headset. Obviously, we both did the Kickstarter, so we have that on the way. That's gonna be. I can't wait for it to show up, and I know they're starting to ship. So then he said they got a whole bunch more to ship that are.
Oh yeah,
that are coming
he says
we'll have one. Yeah, that was really cool. What else? What are some other non-headset stuff?
The OVR, the smell unit. Total shocker on how amazing that was. That was cool.
Was so weird because we weren't even going to do it. It was sitting there, and we've talked about how gimmicky we thought it was. And in a sense, it can be still, but we put it on, and so they had a campfire sitting there.
Well, yeah.
And you could smell the campfire smoke, and I was like, and it was weird because I was like,
it felt real. It felt natural.
I just brought another sense into this, and it actually really does feel like I'm sitting at this campfire. And then you got a marshmallow. You put the marshmallow up to your nose, you smell marshmallow, and it changes the intensity by how close. So, like, if you smell marshmallow here, then you really smell marshmallow when you
could even smell the stick, the wood on the stick, and smell it.
I think it did 9 different scents now. There's little cartridges
you could burn the marshmallow and smell that.
Once you burned it smelled different. Then they would mix the marshmallow and the smoke smell together, so they'd mix those two. It was actually really cool. They're using it for industry stuff, like to help PTSD for military veterans and hospitals and stuff. That's their main thing. And they're also they're not using the vape like e-cig stuff.
Right.
So this is supposed to be, I forget what he said it was, but it's a...
Right now it's a liquid, but they're trying to go to a suspended gel is what they're going to
on
some of their stuff.
Safe.
Yeah, like for shipping and stuff like that.
No, just even the scent that you're smelling. It's a safer thing than the e-cig.
Than the e-cig.
So
the vape stuff.
No. Still kind of weird that you have something spraying and you're smelling it in, but... It was actually a really cool experience.
I got to do there was a rose, and you could pull the rose out of the ground, and you could smell the rose spot on because my wife buys flowers every week, and it smelled exactly like it. And then you could flip it up and smell the dirt off the bottom of it and everything. And it smelled exactly like you expected it to.
It was actually cooler than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, can we get gunpowder? Because I really want to play that, play a shooter game and have that gunpowder smell. And he said actually one of their tech demos that they didn't have it there, but that it was gunpowder and watermelons. So you would shoot watermelons and you would smell the gunpowder and you would smell like the sweet smell from the watermelons. That was actually way cooler than we thought.
Yeah,
that was pretty neat.
I don't know if we'll ever see it really come to consumer stuff. They said they would like to work on that and release something along lines, which would be awesome because, that was way cooler than I thought.
What do you think about Somnium Space headset, that new headset coming out?
I think it has a ton of potential.
I think it's got potential. We didn't get to actually try the headset on. They had the headset in a display, and that wasn't the full
working parts.
Yeah,
inside.
that wasn't the full finished product yet. But they also had one where they had the lenses and a face mask essentially that you could put your face into and see through the lenses, and that looked really good. And that was actually, they told us that was running at 80% for what they want the actual consumer market based product to be. So that wasn't even what they think is the full.
That headset looks so good.
I love the look of it.
It looks like something out of an aviation headset or something. It just looks really good.
Yeah.
They're wanting to build it very modular too, which is really cool, which we love. Man, yeah, that thing looks killer though.
It was cool. I love talking to them guys.
Yeah.
And it was. I think it's got a lot of potential. That's one that I definitely want to try in its full form. You know, because like we talked about the Pimax, I want to see how it feels. You know, weight wise, and is it comfortable and all that. But what we saw so far, it looks awesome, and visually, you know, it looked really good looking through the lenses and what they had set up there.
Yep.
You hopped into Somnium Space, the actual, which
it's crazy.
It actually is. You said it was running pretty good.
I said it's probably one of like the only seamless social things that I've done that was complete, like no loading.
Yeah,
you were always with. So if you're with somebody, you could always be with them type thing. You don't lose them. Yeah, it was really kind of crazy, and they wanted to just kind of build and grow kind of stuff organically with the community.
It's running
and
on
stuff.
blockchain. They're going to do some like NFT type stuff where people can create worlds and actually earn income, right, from the stuff that they're actually creating and putting in the game.
You either earn income by time spent in the game or by actually doing stuff in there or making things.
They got some pretty cool ideas, but we got some more footage we're going to put out there with some more in-depth stuff if you want to learn about that kind of stuff and what they had to say and stuff. But it was really cool. What else? The Anja lens. That was an Indian company from India that was produced this headset, and it's more for like training purposes. So their whole goal.
How about that controller, man?
Yeah, so the controller was actually a paint gun. So it was a physical paint gun with the controller sitting on top with a switch that activated when you pulled the trigger. So the whole thing is you went into the headset and then you were painting things. And so their whole thing is training. Their whole thing is that they can cut down the time that it takes to learn a trade or whatever it may be by using the actual physical things you're going to use and training you on those. And
what they want to do, they want to make those attachments for different things that the controller will go right onto that you can use and stuff, which it's really cool. Yeah.
The headset itself, I mean, it was pretty cool looking. It was pretty small form factor. Again, I ran into some tracking issues, you know, but I can't blame anybody right now because we were having tracking issues with everything. But I got to paint I think like a bench and then a bucket, like a skid steer bucket.
Sure.
It was pretty cool. I mean, I can see how VR is totally going to change the game when it comes to learning, you know, hands-on things. It's going to be able to teach you things, and you're going to have that retention, you know, that memory retention much more than you would be sitting, you know, just in a classroom.
It's one-to-one too, you know what I mean?
So that was really cool. That was cool to experience. I'd love to try some more stuff on that and try some more peripherals or training stuff, like some actual training stuff, see how, you know, I could learn, how quickly I could learn something new with that. I think that would be really cool. So I think that's a huge market that they're tapping into that could have some really big potential.
The Shiftall stuff was super cool looking.
Yeah.
Probably takes the top tier for looks across the board with the controllers they have.
The Flip XRs or Flip.
The controllers,
I can't remember. They're called Flip controllers. Essentially, you had a controller, and all you had to do was flip your wrist, and the whole controller would flip out of the way. You could pick up a drink, take a drink, flip the controller back over, and go back in.
Yeah, so your controller was strapped to the back of your hand. Yeah. That's how it was.
And you had a strap that went over your palm.
Yeah, so, but the whole controller's on the back side, so when you take the whole top piece out of the way, your whole hand's open.
You can shake somebody's hand, you can take a drink, you can do whatever you want.
Use your hands like you normally do.
Keyboard, mouse. Yep. So that concept is really cool. You know, that's not a finished product, he said, but it's getting there. You know,
Absolutely.
the idea of it was really good because how often do you want to do something when you got your controllers on? You either let them hang from the strap or you take them off if you have, you know.
And then can't find them and stuff.
Yeah,
you sit
I'm
them
usually
down
hanging like one of the hoops of my Quest controllers from my pinky, so I got one hand and I can do something with the other hand. So that was really cool. Yeah, but the MeganeX headset looked fantastic, looks-wise. You know.
Oh, yeah.
And
looks incredible.
Comfort-wise, it was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's lightweight from what I remember. That was pretty comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Visually looked pretty good. I mean, it looked pretty good. I don't know if this is a headset that's, you know, I don't know. Like, is that going to be something that's fully going to come to market that we're going to, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we've seen it for a couple years now, but it has nothing really, I don't know what all's changed with this first time we tried it. But
Right. I don't think they've talked about actually even having a release for it yet. But
what about the ball gag? I mean,
gosh.
Looks that thing so crazy, but it
honestly,
works.
It's awesome though. Like, because I see its purpose because I get yelled at for home for screaming when I'm in shooters.
Contractors, population one, or whatever. The wives are like, "Why are you yelling down there?" And we're like,
World War III. I don't know.
I didn't realize I was yelling. Yeah, like me and Tyler are going to war with these people, and we got to communicate. And I'm yelling at him over bullet fire and explosions. I mean, what do you expect?
It's intense. But we do scream a lot, so I do see its purpose. You know what I mean?
I mean, he literally. So it's this white box thing, and puts it up to his, wears it on his mouth, takes it off screaming, puts it on, you don't hear him at all. It also has a Bluetooth mic in there.
It does.
So you can play VR, and have communications in VR that they can hear you, but the people outside can't hear you.
Yep.
Kind of a weird form factor and looks a little crazy when somebody's wearing it, but it does work.
But I get it.
I
mean, what if you're in an apartment or a condo and you can't because you have neighbors?
Yeah, they talked about private business conversations.
What if you're in the middle of the night yelling in a hotel room to a camera and stuff?
And the neighbors are probably like pounding on the walls.
They probably hate us.
Shut up, you idiots. Like,
probably.
What are you doing? And it's like middle of the night. That camera shut off.
It's okay.
Oh boy. Anyways, so it's like the middle of the night, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was cool. And the body tracking, the full body tracking stuff they were doing, they got the guy over there dancing and stuff. That was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
What else? We got to see some Aubika and some Kiwi and some other things. The Aubika, they're coming out with a charging stand that's like a Cybertron kind of head looking thing. It's got LEDs and stuff on it that you put your headset on. I'm a big fan of because if you've seen my VR room, I have glass skulls with LEDs and stuff in them that I put headsets on. So that kind of stuff. I mean, you got to charge your headset. You got to set it somewhere. Why not put it on a cool looking display that'll charge it, and then the controllers go inside those charge as well. That was really cool. I thought that's not the finished product, and they had some other ideas for it. We were kind of giving them some ideas we thought were going to be kind of cool to do with it. So I think it was called the Alien charger or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'll be excited to see that, finished product. We got to see some of their other stuff, with the fan, the facial interface fan, some controller grips, and they got some pretty cool stuff that they're wanting to do. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye on Aubika. I mean, I love accessories anyways.
The Kiwi stuff we saw they're working on accessories for the Quest Pro.
Yeah, they got a couple
which
things
is really
for
cool.
the Pro. That's cool.
Which is well needed. I know you want the head pad and stuff for sure. They had a Quest 2 strap, battery, and audio solution all in one, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually out on the market.
It is.
It just came out. I haven't bought that one yet or tried that one at home yet, but we did try it there, tried it on. It seemed very comfortable.
Pretty nice, actually, Soft pads on it.
I didn't play anything, so I don't know what the headphones sound like, but I mean, Kiwi's got some cool stuff. They also do some charging stands there, got some LEDs on it. That's some of their new stuff. So
the headphone one had that when you flip it up. When you take the head strap up, it
tilts.
also pulls the earphones.
Yeah, it pulls them out a little bit to get it on, which is kind of cool. I told them I'd like to see a way, even when you're wearing it, that you can still pop those headphones out and leave them out and then put them back in. Because if you want to have a conversation like with somebody,
it helps.
That's something I really like.
But you can always flip them back too. You
can. I just like to be like, boop, and they stick out and you're like, what? What'd you say? You want to take the trash out? Okay, I'll be done in 10 minutes, put it back down, and then an hour later I take the trash out.
I know.
But the other thing, Razer.
Yeah,
Razer's making some Quest 2 accessories.
What?
You couldn't try it on. It was just in a case. I guess we didn't try it. We didn't ask to try it on, but it was just in a case, and we got some cool, pictures and stuff of that. And that looks kind of cool. I mean, it's like a kind of a soft strap.
I just think it's cool to see a company like Razer, who has basically always done PC gaming accessories, now getting into the VR stuff. I mean, look where that tells you it's going. You know what I mean?
One thing we were talking about is the fact that there was so much VR and AR presence there. It was everywhere. And even when you went into like the home goods sections, almost everybody had a headset sitting there to do something with. One of the ADT things. So they had this ADT robot that so you got a big wall. On this side, you got an ADT robot that's like waving at you. I walk up, I'm like fist bumping him, shaking his hand. I'm like, this is crazy.
Right.
Walk on the other side of the wall. It's a guy in a Quest 2 controlling it all, using pass-through so he can see you, and he's interacting with you, and that's how it knows to shake your hand. I was like, what?
Will that be all of us in 10 years?
Oh, yeah.
Just at home wearing a headset, going out to get groceries and stuff.
Dude, that sounds pretty cool. I like that idea. But I mean, it was just the presence of AR and VR everywhere. And the halls that were all like AR and VR stuff seemed to be more packed with people than any other halls we went into.
Completely.
I mean, it was just the presence this year. And I mean, everybody's hyped about AR and VR. Literally, everything says metaverse or meta. I mean, we saw the name Meta for like 10 different companies.
Right.
But I mean, there's just there's headsets everywhere. Like businesses that had nothing to do with AR and VR still had a headset in a picture or sitting there with and trying to find a way to incorporate it into their stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely they were. Yeah.
It was weird.
They know it's on trend right now.
It was really cool. But
What about the standing controller
I forgot about
arcade deal? That was super cool.
Let's put that on there.
It was really cool because they're trying to help people get rid of that motion sickness with getting the VR, so you don't have to. I know, I need coffee too.
Anyways,
I need something to drink. I have no voice left.
You want me to get you some water?
No, it's okay. We'll make it. I got this.
All right.
But it was really cool to see, and I think they should completely too, is get this thing into arcades, because the game they had was like a mech you're standing up in it with your arms up, and all the controls are on the ends of the armrest. It was
crazy because to move
you push and pull.
Yeah, you push and pull your arms to move this mech, and then you have your buttons on there to shoot and stuff, and you twist your body to turn.
Yeah.
And it really felt like I was in this mech thing, like doing some...
Controlling it.
That's what it felt like.
So cool.
But the whole idea was to help motion sickness and stuff, and I mean, I was seeing people that never played VR before hop into this thing and play this mech shooter that you can fly in the air, you can jump over stuff, you're free locomotion. None of them said, the people at least while we were standing, none of them said that they had any issues with like motion sickness or anything.
It's cool.
And I don't have motion sickness, problems at all in VR, but sometimes I can still like kind of lose my stomach if something goes crazy, and I never felt that, so I don't know if that was from that kind of thing, but that was really cool. Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool. What else?
Oh, Portal, which is their Switch-like console that goes into a what looks like a Google Daydream, the old gray one. Goes into the front of it, has all the tracking cameras on the console screen deal. You take the controllers off.
What it is, most of
those go into the controllers and stuff. It was front heavy because of that a little bit, which was tough.
And I'm like, are you guys planning on doing a different head strap? Like, because it's just a soft strap, and it was so front heavy that it kept falling down because that handheld wasn't really light. I mean, that little handheld felt pretty quality, like a
that was pretty cool in itself.
Steam Deck or a Switch or something like that. Yeah, like I felt like that. That in itself could be pretty cool, and I could see people buying it for that. I don't think
VR being an accessory for it.
Yeah, maybe it's kind of getting you into that space, but I don't see anybody buying this thing as being a VR headset. Like, I want to go get a VR headset, so I'm going to buy the Portal. I don't.
I think it's the opposite. I think you buy the console to have VR added to it. Then.
And the only demo I did was like a little painting one. So you were in a world and you could like just kind of paint stuff, real basic stuff. So I mean, we didn't even really get to test its VR capabilities, but it's not even something I wanted to wear very long because it was so front heavy. So I'd have to. But they did have a battery strap though. They did have a battery bank that went on the back, so that probably would have helped to kind of balance it out. That actually probably helped quite a bit, but I didn't try that one on.
I don't think it's a huge game-changing VR headset though.
No, it's just kind of it's a little bit gimmicky to me. I think. I mean, somebody's probably going to have a better experience just buying a Quest 2.
I think it'd be cool for a family thing if you wanted to do things and take it on the go and play flat games and have VR access games,
and maybe toy around with the VR. But
I get that.
But one of the stars of the show, and we mentioned it a little bit, is the HTC Vive XR Elite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we're going to put out a video talking about that and going in a little bit more into depth. But man, putting that thing on, it was like, what headset?
Exactly. I forgot about all the other headsets out there. Exactly. Yeah, with weight, I mean, you're right. It felt like there was nothing there hardly. And just size-wise, it's tiny. Like it's a little thing. It's cool. Factor. Yeah.
Pretty much competing with the Quest Pro, coming in $400 cheaper than the Quest Pro. Color pass-through with a depth sensor. This has the depth sensor. They didn't cut it out for naked people like the Quest Pro did.
But it's cool. It's a cool headset, man.
It really is a cool headset. It does standalone. It's got an XR2 chip. It'll play PSVR wirelessly with Wi-Fi 6E, as well as plugging in a cable. We did some Hubris standalone demo, which ran pretty good. Still had a couple hiccups here and there, but like I said, it's kind of to be expected there, and it's not actually released yet. Yuki pass-through demo, so you're playing Yuki in pass-through, which is really cool.
Yep.
You can take it's got a battery bank on the back, which plays for about 2 hours, right?
Yes, the battery's 2 hours, has a little bit of standby battery in it that if you have to swap the battery, you can do that. So without issues or dying or losing your game or save or whatever.
Which we love. I almost can't go back to not having hot swappable.
Me neither.
Because after having the Bobo VR M2 Pro, I do that all the time. Hot swap batteries.
Oh, me too. Every time.
Before we left for Vegas, I played Breachers. And I went through like 2 or 3 batteries one night. I just couldn't stop, and I kept the battery of the headset low. I'd grab another one. Played for a long time, but yeah, I mean, and you can take that back battery bank off. And not only is it hot swappable, you can take that off and you can put on glasses mode, where it's literally just like glasses that fit on there, and then
like the Flow.
Just like the Flow, yeah. But you can play off a power bank. You can put a power bank in your pocket, plug it into that, and you can just play off of that. And then you're like, what, 270 some grams of a headset? Like, holy crap! Like that is
in comparison. Awesome. Let's see, what it's 500 or 600 for the Quest 2. Yeah, something like that.
A little bit more for the Quest Pro.
Right.
So you're coming in a lot lighter than the Quest
for the
Pro,
Quest Pro.
Especially without that back battery. So I think that is really cool. You can play standalone, throw that in your pocket. You should be able to play. You can stream PSVR as well with those glasses and a power bank in your pocket.
Which I think would be great for simming. I can do it wirelessly. I can do it wired with no weight. at all.
Yeah, a little bit
good
higher
field of
resolution,
view. Yeah, exactly. A little higher.
Yeah.
Yep.
Field of view didn't feel like anything huge. It felt about average, as like everything else we're pretty much experiencing.
But I would rather keep good field of view, high res screens with a super light headset. That's what I've wanted. I know.
We got to start going more towards that. It's just so much more comfortable. So that was one of the stars of the show. Honestly, that was one of the stars that kind of stole the show. And they weren't even at the main hall. They weren't at the convention center. They were at the.
They were at the Wynn.
They were at the Wynn. So we had to go somewhere else to go do that. But really, I mean, HTC, we've talked about it for a long time. They needed a win. Like, they needed something to stay relevant in this space. And I think this could be it. I think a lot of people, we've talked to people that have tried it. They were all really impressed with it.
Yeah, the lead hardware designer was there and stuff. Yeah. I mean, they're really all in on this thing for being a good headset.
Yeah, so the amount of time we spent in it wasn't huge. We did a couple demos. So obviously, I still want to spend a lot more time in the headset to really fully test it. But the inside-out tracking seemed pretty good. There was a couple times I put my hand behind my back and pulled it out to see if it was there. And like a couple times it was. One time it wasn't. It took like a second to snap back in. But again, we've had a lot of tracking issues. So getting into the house, I think it's really going to be the best way to test this. Right. But I think it's seriously has potential. And you're probably going to pre-order it, right?
I probably will.
Yeah, we've been talking about that. And I'm debating pre-ordering it as well. It's just, I got the PSVR2 coming. You don't pay for that one until it ships. So got that coming. I want the OWO shirt now pretty bad. And that's like $400 or something like that. So I want that pretty bad at this point. Like, there's just so many things to buy.
There is. And that's the problem with all this.
That HTC headset is actually... Could be a winner.
It's tough, I know. It's a good spot.
So
I know.
You pre-ordered, I'll play yours.
See, that's what I said. Exactly.
I'll steal it for like a couple days. That way I decide if I want
to.
And then go from there.
But, I know.
So anything else? What else? I mean, we tried other stuff, but those are kind of hitting on the big stuff. And
Absolutely.
We'll talk about probably more of it on the next Coffee and VR, but we just kind of want to do something kind of cool, while we're still here in Vegas and talk about this stuff while it's still fresh in our heads.
While we're still awake and still have some voice left.
Are we still awake? I don't even
know either.
Man. Last night was a long night. We stayed out of the Player One bar way too long with way too many cool people, but we paid for it this morning. We were trying to wake up and we're like neither one of us could talk this morning because we were yelling so much last night because it was loud in there. But it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Experience. Like I feel like this whole long weekend is probably one of those ones you just never forget.
Oh, I know.
I mean, meeting all of this community and stuff for the first time,
so much fun.
And hanging out with them, and just, it was awesome. It was awesome. I mean,
wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't have wanted to miss this. So,
and
the wife hasn't popped yet, so we're heading back tomorrow. Obviously my wife's super pregnant. And that was one of my biggest concerns. There was a couple of nights I couldn't sleep before coming because I was like, I'd wake up in the middle of the night and be like, what am I doing? Like, I can't go to Vegas. Like, what if my wife has the babies? I can't do this. And so all worked out. We should be, unless, we get a call in the morning, but we're flying there.
We're good.
So we'll be there. So,
yep.
Anyways, thanks for listening to us ramble on. In a tired stupor.
We can't wait to show you guys the rest of the stuff of what's been going on and stuff too, but you'll see that soon.
Awesome experience. Awesome experience. But
I know. All right, man. Let's get to bed or get coffee. I don't care.
We're going to bed.
I mean,
we'll get coffee in the morning.
The strip's right there.
I mean, we could go get coffee, but I'm down for going to bed. We'll get some good coffee.
I know.
In the morning.
I'm with you, man.
My leg cramp. Oh, my feet and my legs hurt so bad.
I know. Miles, man. Miles of walking.
Anyways, we'll see you guys later. But thanks for hanging out.
See ya.
Later.
I know. I can't get up either. Oh my gosh. Leg cramping.
I know.